Hey guys, what's going on? Zero Mata here with the M4X build guide and commentary. M4X is essentially a real-life parallel to the M4 carbine. I kind of think of it as the actual combination between an AR and an SMG. We have the bullpup, which has kind of been dubbed as that, but I really think that the M4X is kind of the true combination of those two receivers. It's got a little bit less damage, higher fire rate than a typical AR. It's a lot more maneuverable than a typical AR, but you have a lot of spread compared to typical AR, and not to mention the fact that the high fire rate will kind of make the recoil and spread seem a lot more than it actually is. So first build we have is a low recoil based build. The thing about the M4X is it's not so much the spread that kind of really hinders people, it's the recoil, and the reason for that is because of the fact that the high fire rate, like I said, kind of ramps up the recoil in a way that it makes it a lot more apparent than it should be. So to counter that, we're going with our low recoil build. We got the NT4, low recoil, low accuracy or low spread. Barrel, we got the GX3 heavy because it doesn't really factor in recoil at all, so we can go with a high damage barrel. Extended magazine for the M4X because of the high fire rate, you can kind of compensate and have a safety net with the more ammunition per clip. Scope is preferential. CQC scope is probably the best way to go, such as the Reflex 2 Holo. And then we got the recoil stock, the AC-10 Sharp. Next build is a low spread build. This one's probably more suited towards tap firing. You're gonna see the difference right there. It's astronomical. 1.2 right there for spread aim. 1.2 for spread aim on the low recoil build. You can see it's a pretty big difference off the bat. Muzzle, we got the R36 Spectrum, which is kind of a balance between accuracy and spread. It's a low damage muzzle. For the most part. Barrel, we got the Briar leather neck, which is a low spread, low damage barrel as well. We got the extended magazine. Scope is preferential. And then we got the ACP-3 collapsible for the stock. Weapon tag for this one's recoil, and before I forget, weapon tag for the first build is damage. For the third build, this one's just a straight up damage build. It's really good for CQC, medium range combat, not so great long range. So you want to probably steer clear of maps like evac or containment for this particular build. And it's just a typical high damage build. We got the Copperhead, the GX3 heavy, which is the highest damage barrel. Extended magazine. Scope is preferential on this build, and most other builds pretty much. Stock, you have a choice of recoil or spread. I want recoil on this part because, like I said, I think recoil is a lot more of a factor because of the fire rate. And weapon tag, we went with accuracy on this one. For the last build, level 15 and below, as usual for most of the build guides that I've done. This is kind of straight up a damage build as well. You had 50 there. I think the highest I can go to with level 15 and below is 46 damage. So we went with the Briar S11 ArcAngel. I could have gone with the RX, but I wanted a little bit of recoil. It's kind of your preference and your choice, but I opted for the little bit of a gain in, or a little bit of a loss in recoil. Barrel went with the Stalker 1T6, probably the best barrel for spread for level 15 and below. Magazine, we got the extended mag. Scope is preferential. And stock, you can have a couple of choices here. You can go with the Redsand, which is a low recoil based stock. Cog is a good choice as well. And then if you can manage the scope in time, you can definitely try out the Torex ACP Mod 0 as well. Weapon tag is damage for this one. And that's pretty much it. For the M4X in general though, you kind of want to go for recoil. The spread on it is like kind of set up in a way. If you fire the gun, I recommend not just for this build, but for any build in general. Just go fire the gun before you shoot it. See what its tendency is and see how you can counter the recoil. You'll kind of see that for most of the M4Xs, it kind of shoots in a circular path. So if you can manage the recoil in the way and lower the recoil in the way, you can actually kind of manipulate the gun so it actually compensates its recoil by itself, if that makes sense. And that's kind of what some of the builds on this specific guide tries to do. It kind of tries to compensate the recoil by itself without having you do the work. So that's pretty much it for the M4X build guide. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, definitely leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them, and appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching.